Good morning. Welcome to libp2p Day. My name's Dave Grantham, and you can see that's obviously a picture of me. This is our second community event for 2024. We had one earlier this year in Denver, and it was a huge success, and I hope to top that today. We have a great lineup of some speakers for the morning, and then in this afternoon, we have two separate workshop tracks. So we tried to stack this content so that it was most relevant based on what we were getting back from the community. So if you go and hang out on our Telegram channel, that's what this QR code is. So everybody take out your phone, get into Telegram right now. This is the event channel. We have a separate Telegram channel where the community hangs out when we're not all in the same place. But this one is specifically for this event, and I'll post links in it later today that will get you to the main community channel. But my original point here is when you hang out with us online in our chat spaces, I occasionally ask questions like, hey, we're going to do an event. What do you guys want to do? And I can't stress enough that if you say something, it's probably going to happen unless it's ridiculous. Don't say ridiculous things. But like, hey, let's all get together and talk about how to do hole punching. How do we do passive peer discovery? How do we, add a unreliable stream to libp2p? Let's talk about that. These things actually have impact on how we do our community. And I encourage all of you to stay connected and stay vocal about what you'd like to see because I'm listening and frankly, I get to decide. So at the end of the day, someone asks me, what are we going to do, Dave? And I'm like, I want to do what everybody else wants to do, to be honest. The other thing I wanted to point out, you guys are all just beautiful people this morning. Thank you for getting up. I love to see some of my favorite people. I've met many of you guys in past events, and it's good to see you all back. How many of you guys have ever been to an unconference? Have you ever been to an unconference? Ian has. Jarapo has. Yeah, you guys? Alex? Yeah. Unconferences are really interesting because they're a conference that has no schedule. You show up, and then you make the schedule. It's made directly by the people at the conference for the people at the conference. And we're not doing that today. Don't get scared. But what I wanted to point out is it has a really great philosophy, and I think it translates well to open source projects, which is whoever shows up are the right people. And I would extend it to open source projects, which is whoever contributes, whoever comments on a bug, whoever reviews a patch, whoever submits a patch, whoever submits a bug, those are the people who are in charge. And I don't think it's called out enough in open source that when you show up, you have ownership over this project. It's how we maintain ourselves. If nobody shows up and nobody cares, it stops existing. And so it's really important, and I love to see all of you here, that you understand that you have ownership and there's opportunity for you to have feedback and control over how this project runs. And libp2p is no different. So thank you so much for all coming to this and supporting libp2p. And I think, how are we doing on time? I don't have a clock up. Oh, I've got a filibuster for a few more minutes. Let me give you an update on the libp2p project as I see it. I look at numbers all day long. How are our implementations running? What are our numbers for contributors? How much code do we write? How many bugs are we fixing? I wish I had prepared a slide, actually, to just show you some numbers. I wanted to show you that libp2p is doing just fine. It is a critical piece of the stack in many blockchains and many Web3 products. And yeah, we do have some not so great bus factor numbers. There are some critical pieces that rest on just a few people, and I'm trying to fix that. And we, as a group, can all fix that. But in general, the post-nucleation phase, the winding down of libp2p being a fully integrated project inside of Protocol Labs to becoming an independent open source project with its own foundation, that may have not been the most smooth. I thought it was smooth. I actually thought it was about as smooth as it could go. We've done that. We've completed the transition now, and the project itself survived it. I think that's what everybody was concerned about. What happens when you suddenly push it out and make it independent, right? Not every bird flies when it gets out of the nest. Well, libp2p is actually doing really great. We are now, we've formally grown the community to include all of the implementations, and I think the number is 10. I'm gonna see if I can remember them all. There's the Go libp2p, there's JavaScript, there's Rust, obviously, there's a .NET, there's a Swift, there's a Zig one, thanks to Marco. There is a JVM one, thanks to Ian and several others, which is C++ is also one. There's a NIM one. What were you? C++? I don't, what's your name? What's your handle? No, on GitHub. Oh. Have you contributed to C++ libp2p? No. Welcome, C++ libp2p, everybody. Like, yeah. The reason I'm asking is because I have a list of 2 or 3 implementations where I haven't really made connection with the people who started it or maintaining it, and I'm trying to bring everybody in, right? Turns out the NIM libp2p community is extremely active. They are doing incredible numbers. They had, I don't know, a couple hundred PRs, and there's some 30 different developers who touch it on a daily basis. The Rust libp2p project, even though we lost our 2 paid maintainers, I have to take my hat off to people like Guy and Joao and Adrian Manning. They really stepped up, and the Rust libp2p project is doing great. We have meetings every other week for some of these implementations, and we're getting half a dozen to a dozen people showing up. So I'm just happy to report that when the call went out for people to care about libp2p and to show up, you all showed up. Thank you, because this is an extremely important piece of the infrastructure, and I don't think people understand that libp2p makes possible pretty much everything else. And I don't like to hold it over people, but when you have something that's that important, you would hope that a lot of people would care about it. And it shows that we have a pretty full room here, that there are still people out there that think about this every day. So that said, I just wanted to say thank you. The community's doing great. Our Retro PGF funding round for libp2p is wrapping up. Thank you for all of you who submitted grant applications, and the voting, I think, is complete at this point. I'm sad to say Prithvi's not here to do any announcements. I'm sorry about that, but we'll rectify that real soon with some blog posts and some announcements. So I'm really excited to start handing out money to all the people who have had impact here. So it's really great. Yeah, you guys can clap. Good job. It's really about you, right? It's really about you. That said, I guess we'll get going with our first speaker. This morning, we're going to be talking about a lot of things that are really cool, in my opinion. We're going to be talking about WebRTC. We're going to be talking about hole punching. We're going to be talking about, fortunately, Christine's not here, so we have a change in the schedule. Ian, who's going to be talking about Pyrgos, is going to slide. He's going to go long and slide into Christine's schedule. So if you look at the schedule, Christine is unfortunately not able to get here. We wish you the best, Christine, and we miss you. So that's the only change we have today, and we're going to have a couple breaks. Oh, the last thing I wanted to point out, and I will be handing these out here in a minute. During the changeovers, I built into the schedule a 5-minute gap. And so when someone's up here messing with their laptop, I'm going to jump up. And one of the best things we can do when we're all in the same room is to give live feedback about the project, what you think we could be doing better, what you think we're doing wrong, any opportunities you see, any threats you see. It's a SWOT analysis, SWOT. So in the changeovers, I'm going to be handing out these sticky pads and pens. And I would really appreciate it. I'm going to ask you a SWOT question, something like, if libp2p could be doing something better, what would it be, right? If we have money, assuming we have money, which we do in some cases, how would you like us to spend it? Or what do you think is the one thing holding libp2p back from being used everywhere and not just mostly in the Web3 space? Questions like that, just to prime your brain. And just write down as many, there's no wrong answers, just write down as many answers as you can, and we're going to start stacking them on the wall, because at lunchtime, we're going to get together and I'm going to read out some of these, and we'll do an exercise. It's not during lunch, but right after lunch. We're going to get on our feet and we'll start prioritizing them. Again, remember, this is an open source project. I need your feedback. We need to decide what our priorities are for the rest of the year. And then after the SWOT exercise, which will be just a few minutes, we're going to have a panel with some of the maintainers, and actually, maybe I should invite C++ libp2p up onto the stage too, because I got questions for you too. And that'll just be a Q&A session with some of the maintainers who've been gracious enough to volunteer to jump on stage and answer your questions. So it'll be your opportunity to throw tomatoes, like, hey, you guys, you know, I won't say they suck, because our maintainers don't suck. We have the best maintainers I've ever worked with. But it'll be your opportunity to give them feedback directly, ask questions, and actually don't even be afraid to say, like, so I submitted this PR and I haven't seen anything. Can we talk about that right now? Because this is a community event. So, all right, let's move to our first speaker.